Hello, everyone. Today we are here to talk to Danny Andreas. Danny has gone through some of the things that a lot of the folks who come to the Dad's Resource Center have gone through and successfully worked his way through his journey. And we often say fathers who go through this type of thing, they want to have a way to make it meaningful and have a way that somehow it can benefit other fathers and parents who go through these types of situations. And some people do certain things, some people do other things. And what Danny has done is he's got some websites. He's got his website and social media channels that he's got content out. And he also developed a book called The Ultimate Long Distance Dad's Guide: How to Build Strong Bonds, Whether You're Divorced, Living Apart, or Always on the Road. With that, I'll kind of turn it over here real quick to Danny to be able to introduce himself and share a little bit of background on his situation.
Hi, Jeff. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I'm Danny Andreas. I'm from Amsterdam, the Netherlands. I'm a long distance father, father of a 10-year-old daughter right now, and she lives about 700 miles from here in another country, Hungary, another culture, another language. And regardless of many difficulties on our way, the last 10 years, we've managed to build a very deep connection and deep bond that I'm really proud of.
So, when you had reached out, I asked if you would share the book with me, and you did. And I was really struck because there's a lot of really simple, but really, really high quality information. And I thought, you know what? We can get behind this because this is something that is useful as you've intended to fathers who are distance fathers and traveling and away from home a lot, even in a nuclear family, a non-separated family. How to really improve the quality of your relationship with your children and your role as a father. But specifically to our audience, fathers who are being cut out of the lives of their children and being limited in their contact with their children. And there's a lot of really quality information. Um, you can fight it, and that's
Yes,
what everyone's focus is, rightfully so, is how can we fight it? How can we get through it? And the frustrations of not having the access. But
yes,
what little time you do have, how can you maximize that time and
yes.
develop that bond? So if you can speak to that.
Yes, exactly. And I think I wrote also out of my own experiences. This book is really meant for worst case scenarios. So anything that can happen to a dad, and regardless of the situation, it gives you the tools that the minimal access you have to your child to make it as worthwhile as possible. And also gives you, for example, video calls. Video calls are given as substitute for physical meetings by courts, and but video calls and ordinary FaceTime for young children are very boring. So in my book, I describe all these techniques to make these video calls engaging and to put in several layers so that you can make it into an experience with your child, which is important in order to connect and to bond with your child.
And so, just kind of out of the gate to simplify it, your 1 or 2 minute answer: fathers who are finding themselves in these types of situations, what are the basic steps? What are the most important things, at least initially, when you find yourself in these types of situations?
Well, do not despair. I mean, keep faith in yourself and in your child. Think about the long term and not don't get distracted in short term triggers or actions, and try to avoid conflict that could jeopardize your right to meet with your child at all times. So You know, whatever happened with your ex-spouse, leave it as it is. Your ex-spouse is now your colleague, and treat your ex-spouse as your colleague. Keep it businesslike, so that you um, so that you don't create noise in the communication, and which can result into conflict.
So when you talk about keeping connected, effective remote communication technology, communication with the children, what are some of the other ways that you can make that work or improve those connections?
Also through gifts, um, and you can also combine it. Also in the book, I illustrate that, especially when my child was very young, that she had to recognize my facial expressions. But if you're not there, she can't do this. So what I did, I made pictures of my face in different positions, printed this on a teddy bear, on a t-shirt, and I sent it to her. So she could play with this bear, and while playing with this bear, she could learn my face. And one time during a video call, she showed me the bear to tell me that she understood without, she couldn't even talk. So it was, and also very simple things like toddlers and babies, they communicate with smells. So leave a t-shirt, leave a hat with your smell. And that's the way your child will get to learn you. And it's very basic, very primal or primitive, but that's the way it works, because that you can't have that during a FaceTime. And also make personal gifts. So don't buy it, make it really personal. And if you see your child, let your child decide and give it several options, you know. And this is all part of the fun, you know. You're creating expectations, but you're doing it together. So try to stretch it out. Every tiny experience that you have, try to stretch it out.
All right. And how about managing the fathering distance in terms of working with the other parent?
Sorry?
What about some of the advice you have in your book in terms of co-parenting and working with
Of
the other
co-parent,
parent?
yes, yes. Well, for this, it's very important to have a solid parenting plan, and either visitation agreement or parenting schedule or something, which I both describe briefly in the book, and that you have very good agreements about visitation, and that you keep your agreements. This is also very important, and that you, what I already mentioned earlier, that you keep your communication businesslike. So I advise in my book to always use email, and don't send it immediately, but send it the next day. So, you know, during everything can change during the day, and if you read it the next day, maybe your feelings have cooled down a little bit, and you have a fresh perspective, and you
Yeah.
take out all the edgy things, and then you have a very clean, business-like email which contains just the information that has to be communicated, and then you're safe, you know? Because during phone calls, emotions can come up and conflicts can arise, and you won't have proof of it, neither. So especially if you are in an alienation situation, it's key to have proof of everything. So of every communication. So that's why email is the best. It's like a filter as well.
So, what are some of the other challenges in terms of distance fathering that you've identified?
Well, I think mental issues. I mean, it can be draining to not seeing your child, not being with your child, especially during special holidays or birthdays, or just you can't just always be there when it matters and when you would like. And this brings some, yeah, father, dad guilt, that you feel guilty about these things. Um, well, these are things, and also it's quite costly. I mean, if you want to meet your child and you're a long distance child, you have to travel. So you have to, yeah, you have flights, you have apartments, and you have you live in two countries. So this is something, and well, if you also have to deal with legal procedures, then it's really humongous. So, and this is I think the tricky part of the whole system is that it's this what discourages a lot of that, because it's financially, it's undoable, and go through this whole legal procedure and paying child custody, and also, meeting up with your child and doing things with your child, or taking care of your child, buying gifts for your child. It's this combination of things that can happen.
So in your
Yeah.
situation, you said your daughter's 10 years old, correct?
Yes.
And when did you separate and become a single dad?
Actually, that was before the moment of birth. So
Oh,
I already knew at the moment of birth that I would become a single father. And already after birth, I noticed alienation, uh, things from her. So that's already when I started to educate myself and uh, preparing myself for what was about to come. And I think that was also what saved me, so that I could eventually revert it and beat it. And so that's also what I write in my book. I write about how you can how you can notice the first signs of parental alienation, and how you can effectively deal with it. And
and
this
so,
is not just my knowledge, but this is like shared knowledge of parents who have dealt successfully with parental alienation.
all right. And so she's 10 years old and her entire life has been from day one, you're being in a position where you had to adapt to the circumstances to be able
Yes,
to ensure that you had the relationship with your daughter that you now have.
yes, yes. And this was very difficult, especially the first years, because children have a very short memory. So yeah, once they don't see you then for a week or something, they might have forgotten about you, or so you constantly have to reinforce your connection and your bond, and this is difficult because of children, especially babies and toddlers. They are not verbally capable, so they have other ways of communication which you can't give them from afar. So this is difficult, and I've tried also with by creating like video calls into many television shows, and to make them engaging, to give her other experiences which could substitute for the real thing.
Ah, okay. And where you're sitting today, she's 10 years old. You believe you have a really strong relationship with her.
Yes, definitely. I mean, we meet every month. Every month I travel to Hungary, and we meet. And in the summer and in the winter, she comes over to the Netherlands, and she feels really home here in my country and also in my house. And uh, no, so that's also, I think, why I felt confident to make my website distancedads.com and to write this book, is because I noticed that my strategies, that they worked out, and I tried a lot of things, and I removed what didn't work, and what remained was everything that worked. And also, I've shared this with other dads that I met. And in the meantime, since I released the website, thisisdads.com, I've had like more than visitors from more than 50 countries. And so that's also what gave me the information that how global this is. And and it's also, I wouldn't say that these are all native dads of all these countries, but like dads are everywhere in the country, everywhere in the world. I mean, there are a lot of expat dads experience these problems. They're adventurous and they have a lot of intercultural marriages and they have a higher risk to get divorced. And well, for example, I know of an expat dad who divorced twice with a woman from a foreign country. So they are in a very difficult position.
So, and we had talked about this prior to getting the video going, but this whole distance dad concept is really applicable to anyone, even if you live in the same town. If all these
Yes,
ridiculous hurdles are being put up to
yes,
keep you at arm's length with your children, right?
yes. Yeah, you can live in the next street if you don't have a visiting right. You don't get to see your child. That's how it works, and it's ridiculous. It's
So
really
you still
ridiculous.
need these skills and the adaptability and the information and the
Yeah,
mindsets to be able to create those bonds despite all these barriers that are being put up.
yeah. I think my book is not like a how to, and I give you all the steps from A to Z. No, it's more like, okay, these are all things that can get on your way, and so it's like a reference book. If you notice this, okay, here you can read something about it. If this is applicable to you, you can read about it. You know, and so I think but on the whole, it's like, okay, these are the core things that you will definitely deal with, and these are things that might happen to you.
And how and some things that worked for you in getting through that.
Yes.
All right. All right. Okay. So with your book, is it released yet, or what's the status with it?
It's on pre-order right now on all major digital platforms, and the 15th of May it will be released in ebook. And I'm really working very hard on the printed version right now, so I hope I have it ready by the 15th as well,
So
and
the
as well as an audiobook.
so the 15th of May. We have a pro say page with resources for fathers, and I think I'm going to link this up there with it because a lot of the advice there is the legal stuff, trying to help them get through all of that, uh,
Yes.
those parts of it. But I think that this is really important for people to have on that other level of being able to
Hmm.
survive and thrive and remain engaged and develop the relationship.
Yeah, regardless of the legal struggles, because the legal struggles will be there, but you can't be stuck in that, and your child isn't waiting for you. Your child is growing up really rapidly, especially within these first 10 years, and you can't wait for judges and courts. And no, your child needs you at any time. So regardless what they throw at you, in my book, I give tips to keep you going and to help you succeed. Buy the book and send me what you think of it. I really like to know, and also how it works for you.
All right. All right, very good, Danny. Well, thank you very much. Again, the title of the book is, go ahead, what's the title of the book?
It's the ultimate long distance dad's guide.
The Ultimate Long Distance Dad's Guide. Okay.
All right.
And again, I highly recommend it. There is a lot of really simple, usable information that looks practical, common sense, but a lot of people may not think of. So thank you for doing the book, Danny. Thank you and congratulations on what you've been able
Okay.
to do for you and your daughter.
Thanks a lot for having me, and thanks a lot for supporting me and supporting the book.